We're back in Edmonton. The record's all done, and now it's time to get down to the hard stuff and kind of perfecting the songs, make sure that they sound amazing live. So, you know, that's the name of the game. That's why we're here.
Fucking 5 to 7 right now. I'm hungover as fuck. We're gonna go pick up Dan. We're gonna pick up the rest of the band. Whew. This city is a city built upon people who work their balls off. You work all week. The weekend comes, it's time to ball. It's time to fucking party. You know? And I love this city because of it. Oh God, we have to get up early tomorrow. But you know what? Dave, I'll be good, man. It's too early to do anything.
I'm bad at being sentimental about my hometown. I like the Oilers. My family lives here, so of course, that's got to be it. That's why I feel like it's home. I guess this is the most familiar setting I know. But I suppose if my family moved somewhere else, that would be home, and I think I could be okay.
Dude, I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah, what'd you end up doing last night?
I just got home like a couple hours, like an hour or two ago.
What were you doing?
I went everywhere.
Yeah?
Cut my finger on some grip tape too.
Oh,
gripping the board.
Did you?
But it's just down there, yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm pretty hungover.
Straight out of Compton, it's a brother that'll smother your mother and make your sister think I love her.
We stayed up for a little bit. We fucking drank some or did our thing. It's like licking your face, eh? Knock it off.
People ask all the time why we still are in Edmonton. It's kind of the common thing for a band to kind of move to Vancouver, move to Toronto, or move to the States. And, you know, Edmonton's got this bad rap to begin with, so people can't believe we stay regardless. This place is my home. All my friends are here, all my family's here. Edmonton's not the most beautiful place. I've been to the most beautiful places in the world. This band has taken me there. I feel very lucky about that. But this place has a lot of character. You know, maybe I'm not asking for much, but I love it here. Love you.
Edmonton's home, you know, and there's a lot of stuff to not like about Edmonton, but despite the copious amounts of murders that happen in a year, this is where I was born. This is where I was raised, you know, and I don't know, just everything that I know is here.
There you go, bud. We drive you crazy.
Edmonton, definitely kind of a theme for this band, I'd say. A lot of the music industry in Canada happens in Vancouver or in Toronto. Edmonton is kind of the middle of nowhere for a lot of entertainment or music business. Definitely a city that supports everything that comes out of it. Edmonton's really proud of anything that's from Edmonton, but definitely a lot of love for us and a lot of support here, so.
Okay, should I go in from the back?
No. Not even close. What's in the clear bag? Your fucking prom dress?
My bedding, Sandy. Sorry, I don't consider
Your prom dress!
I don't consider a snuggie fucking nighttime attire. Must be fucking early because Sandy's being a real jerk. Oh, let's get some coffee.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, boys. Let's go make a rock and roll record.
Driving on empty, downtown until you're beside me. I'm coming back for you.
The drive was painless. We make our living driving. We've driven from Halifax to Edmonton in 65 straight hours with a night crew and a day crew so that we never had to stop. It goes by so quickly when it's only 12 hours. That is a beautiful journey. And coming down, it was fun. We were excited, you know. We were about to do our third record. We're here in one piece. We're safe. It's raining. Big surprise. It's good to be in BC. Let's go make a record.
Okay.
So what the hell is going on here? Why, Ben? Why? Why are you here? So you are going to document the making of this record?
Yes.
Okay. And you are going to document it from inception until completion?
Yes.
It was important for us to stay with a Canadian producer. That's kind of our thing, and we're proud of that. We like to keep it in Canada. Dave Genn was one that really jumped out at us right away. He's had a relationship with the band for a while. You know, we've been friends, and he's always been, you know, really supportive of our band. And
I was excited to work with a player-producer, someone that had studied their instrument, that had played their instrument, that had played in a band, that knew exactly where we were coming from.
He was also, you know, one of the guys that we looked up to as a musician when we were growing up. He was in a prominent Canadian band. He was in the Matthew Good band. And so, you know, when we were kids, like, they were the biggest band in Canada by far. I mean, they were huge.
I am very conscious of you know, the band culture when I produce, and that's, I think that's why I probably end up working with a lot of bands, is because I sort of understand that, having been in so many bands myself.
I admired his ear, his grasp on music from all aspects, thinking of it as a drummer, thinking of it as a bass player, as a listener, as a songwriter, everything.
He's a great fucking guitar player. He's an unreal bass player and he plays everything. So, I mean, we wanted to do a record with someone kind of on the same level. Not like playing wise. I mean, he's obviously far a superior player than myself. But I mean, like, just to have like a player's perspective.
Well, the thing that attracted me to the band, or one of the things that attracted me to the band, was their work ethic. I mean, these guys have obviously busted their asses for 10 years. You know, as they say, it's 5% inspiration and 95% perspiration. These guys work their tails off, and that's what you need to do to get anywhere in this business.
10 Second Epic started when we were all still in high school. We were a young, shitty band, for sure.
The early days, we would be playing in skate parks around Edmonton to, you know, just our friends, basically. You know, truth be told, I probably didn't know it at the time, but we weren't good enough for anyone other than our friends to like us.
We were just having a great time jamming in my parents' basement. I mean, we didn't even know what a band could accomplish.
That's from a show in 2002. It's November something. I've looked at it a few times, but I can't like muster up the courage to watch it. But that was the first out-of-town show we ever played. I think I booked it for us through, I don't even know. I booked our band at one time. Those were dark days. But I know you're gonna play it in this movie, and I don't even like want to see it.
Thank you very much.
As far as I can tell, it was as serious as it gets, like from the beginning. Like we were like, we're a band. We're gonna do what all bands do. So the goal was maybe to be considered a real band. You know, it was to go on tour. It was for people to like you. It was for chicks to like you. It's to make like a record that other dudes revere you and they're like, wow.
Touring back then was like some dream that I don't think any of us ever thought we'd really ever do, is go on tour, let alone kind of all over the world. But
it's been a slow climb for us. We started playing, we did our first tour across the US to basically nobody, and then we started touring across Canada, and there'd be nights, I remember nights in Thunder Bay where we'd be playing to the Sound Man, and I mean, you think to yourself, why am I doing this? But there'd always be that one show every week that took you by complete surprise, and it kind of gave you all the energy to keep going. I'm just gonna savor this for a second. All right, I think you know what to do. So we spent our nights away past every small. Yep. You don't deserve to be unnoticed. You don't deserve to be treated alike. We've got too far to be unnoticed, so let's get gone.
When you're in the arts, you're never expecting to make any money. You're like, as far as I can tell, you're expecting that you're gonna have to fucking fight, you know? So I just always knew I was gonna do this. This is what I like. There's no other option.
Let's get gone. Let's get gone.
We've come together as better songwriters, better musicians, you know, better players. That passion and drive is still there, you know, almost 10 years later. And this is what we do. This is all we really know. I'm not really qualified to do much else. It's true.
That's our home flag, man. Our team's colors. We just want to let everyone know that the enemy's arrived in town.
Check this out. It's fucking got every sick animal ever. Fucking eagle, polar bear, elk, moose, fucking wolf, brown and black bear.
Did you actually bring that?
Yeah, I love this fucking blanket.
This is, this is gonna be our home for the next, almost 2 months. So, we'll settle in a little later. But for now, we don't really have much time to waste. We gotta start making a damn record.
We did, however, forward our rider for Pat's chair. He does require specially sized furniture, so I'm glad that they're sensitive to his needs.
This is right up to spec.
You just like it because it makes you feel like a giant.
See, here, take in account how big this clothespin is and see how big it looks in his little miniature hands.
On this record we have, and this isn't always the case, but we had the luxury of being able to get together in my basement for a couple of weeks. Dan and Andrew and myself got to really fine-tune the lyrics and melodies and make sure that those were all right before I got in the room with the band.
Think of rock and roll as this very serious, business, and we're recording in, $1 million studios. Maybe we'll throw in, the odd bottle of Jack Daniels, a little bit of drugs. How about a couple strippers? Dave's vocal room was his children's playroom. I couldn't help but feeling a little absurd because I'm in there, screaming into the mic, and then I look around and there's just like toy trains everywhere, and it was, I don't know if humbling's the word, but it just kind of makes you laugh. You're like, okay, well, here I am, tracking vocals in a children's playroom.
It's damn regrettable, there's nothing here to do to pass the years.
Dave, there's a horse yelling at me in the studio.
Where is it?
Right here, I think. Oh yeah, this is the golf.
Yes, this one goes off by itself.
I'm just like, what is this new mix? This new fidelity?
It's a pretty amazing toy. Love that one.
Crisis averted.
That feels like it's gonna work to me.
Pre-production is your last chance to make all your songs perfect before it's time to hit the record button. Every detail, every drum beat, every lyric, every melody, every chord, how you play the guitar, what guitar, like every single detail.
It's taking the songs you have to the producer and him listening to it in a live setting. And essentially just kind of refining what you're going to take and eventually put down on tape. So, it's basically like adding another member to your band and then sitting there and playing it until you're exhausted, really.
A lot of pre-production is just gently whipping the boys to a point where they're pushed to be playing the best parts they possibly can as well as they can together.
It's a little mousy on the snare, It can be bigger.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't need to be. It needs to be bigger. It needs to be more. I don't know. It just seems. That seems small to me.
I might just not be playing hard enough. Let's try it again. I'll, 2.
Like the thing about pre-production is that you have your producer, right? And he comes in and he has his own opinions, but the 5 of us sat down and wrote these songs, and so we have this sort of creative attachment to it.
Oh, when you're on the fucking firing line, when he's like staring, he's like, play your part again, and you're like, because I know you hate it. I don't want to do it again.
Music's hard because sometimes you get really married to a part, and to take yourself away from what you wrote is the hardest thing to do, but it's the most important and best thing to do. If someone really likes their part and everyone's like, that sucks big time. You know, like go get inside. What do you mean?
I think it sounds cool.
That sounds cool.
It's not. The riff's
Like
not.
really talented,
The riff's
you know?
not good enough the fourth time. That's the problem with it that I have. Comes out at the beginning, I'm like, fuck, cool riff. Comes in the second verse, I'm like, there it is again, cool. Third one, you're like, okay, they made a middle eight out of it. Comes in at the very end, I'm like, okay, next song. You know, it's like,
Take it out. Presents the riff.
it's like
The riff.
it's a great bonehead riff, but you're overusing it right now. I, with a very technical ear, still haven't been able to figure out the fucking rhythm of it, right? Because, and I think it's because you guys are playing it really fucking poorly. You know, or I should say, some of you are nailing it down, and some of you are not on it. So it sounds like a fucking mess.
Yeah.
If you guys were playing it, if you guys were playing it tight between the four of you, then you know I can be convinced.
Let's try this. 1, 2, 3. Just the triple. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's fucking sweet, dude.
Dave Genn's, you know, what he does is, it's kind of interesting. It's like, you know, he's really focused. He's in his zone because he's kind of a zen kind of guy. He just sits there. Like, we'll play the song 3-4 times over before he says anything. He just kind of has these like knowing eyes, like, again, and then he kind of formulates a really good idea or point about the song, and I think to him he's getting in his head the nucleus of what the song's about and how to really make it about that. I'm thinking of myself as a little kid, and I might not represent the majority, but I'm just saying, if I was like, if there's some band, I'd be like, oh fuck, I can't wait for that part, I can't wait. Ah!
I was a Rush fan in grade 6 too, but less so now.
I feel strongly about
It's your
this.
record.
Well,
Jan does love that part.
Yeah.
I like it.
Why do you like it though?
not just to play, I like how it sounds.
Because it's muso.
I like it
It's
because
totally like it's showing off,
A little bit.
maybe a little
right?
bit.
It's showing off to the other bands.
But in fairness,
So
Oh, yeah,
I'm not so cares about the other
I'm
bands.
gonna like start saying some fucking wink and
I
like
know. That is precisely your fucking motivation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
Totally
we listen to a lot of metal bands, right? That's true.
we have a term whenever you've been kind of playing a song for a long time or you're just sick of something, you get crispy.
You know, you're just crispy. It's like it's, you know, if you cook something for too long, it will get crispy. You know, it's like when you do something for way too long and you just get crisp.
And you know, when you're in pre-production for 10 hours in a day, by about hour 5, you're crispy, but you got 5 hours left of work to do. And for those 5 hours, your temper's even shorter. So, you know, when you disagree about small detail, you're pretty quick to snap, and you're pretty quick to defend your point. It's fucking sounding like shit. Like, it's sounding fucking worse, 100%.
Come on, guys.
Like, it sounds like hell.
Well, don't worry.
I'm happy with my parts.
Well, it's just like, in between the demo and like the band version, it's like, you know, shit place in between. So really
What are you
bad.
getting at though? The demo's not gonna fucking work, man. That thing's not gonna work, right?
I'm not pushing for the demo. I'm saying that the band way sounding a lot better than this.
Yeah, but we're fucking. If we already have the band way down, right?
Yeah.
So we need to try this before then we can decide. But like,
As we tried, it's getting worse and worse.
you don't understand how it works. Okay, you're singing
We're
the same
learning a
thing.
song.
Yeah, it's like everyone's learning parts. It doesn't just like. It's a lot. It's really.
It's true.
The parts aren't getting worse. People are just not playing it well, Andrew, is what you're trying to say, right?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know who's playing
That
what.
is what's happening, so don't worry about it.
We've never played a group like this in our fucking lives.
It is
So it's something
a little foreign.
It's foreign, right?
Yeah.
We're like
We're used to like big, loud, like dun, 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 you know, and to really like strip it down.
Well,
Like,
let's see if we can diversify a little bit.
oh, I'm saying I'm open to it.
If you don't have, you know, people presenting different views, it doesn't make you question the song. You just kind of settle into a groove where you're just okay with it, and you don't really challenge yourself or the song. And in the end, going through that struggle, going through that fight is what gets you the best results.
You know, I think this record more than others, we've had a focus of kind of where we want to go with it. You know, you'll see us bitch at each other, but at the end of the day, everyone's pushing for the same result. They want the song to sound the best that it can possibly sound. So
What you're always trying to achieve in a creative relationship is one that is egoless. So that is to say, if I throw an idea on the table and you throw an idea on the table and they're conflicting ideas, once they hit the table, they no longer belong to you. Your idea doesn't belong to you and my idea doesn't belong to me. They belong to the collective. They're just two ideas. And if you can disassociate your own ego from your idea, then almost always everybody will arrive at the same decision as to what is best.
If you don't say it to me. And if you don't say it to me. I think I said it now. You should know that if you're not in love, it's worth the lifetime waiting for you to say it to me. Just say it to me.
I personally had felt that the previous record, the second record, was a little bit of a misstep for them. I thought that it was just a little too poppy. And they need to be a rock band.
You hate what you don't know. You hate what you don't know. Nothing will say why. Nothing will say why. What you're thinking. No, it's nothing. No, it's nothing.
Hometown was definitely a more polished record, but for Better Off, we kind of wanted to get back to those raw rock roots. That's the music that we love. That's the music we love to play live, and we're a live band. I mean, if I didn't get to perform, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be happy just making CDs and having music on the radio. That's not what music is to me.
They obviously wanted to rock. You know, their songs were heavier. They were more rocking. They were closer to Foo Fighters than Simple Plan this time out, and so that really appealed to me.
After the success of Count Yourself In, we had to do a record where everyone was in our ear telling us how to write, what to write, and it puts a lot of pressure on you, you know.
Album 2 came around, and suddenly there was all these expectations. Now we had a record label, we had a publisher, we had management, we had agents, we had publicists. You know, we had so many people talking in our ear.
We didn't want to listen to anybody's input on this one. We just wanted to have a clean slate and just to jump in like we did when we were younger.
We just wanted to make songs that we were proud of. Save what everyone else is telling us. Just do something that we liked. Patrick J-Bomb Birtles. Peanut Butter Jelly Bam Birtles. Fuck.
Where do I start? My God, Sandy's probably going to be able to run through about 60 nicknames for him.
There's Peebs, there's Peach, there's Bert, there's Bertos, Naked Penis Man, Drac, Tadpole, Frog Dick,
Elvis Stoico, Cheeseburger, Beeb, Boydles, Chickapee, Jim from American Pie.
I don't know. He's got so many fucking names. It's not even, the list goes on.
Why do we all make fun of Pat? Well, you know what? Every group's got to have someone you make fun of. I mean, that's just the way it is.
We've been ragging on him for forever and ever, and I don't think it's ever gonna stop.
They say you bug the ones you love, and maybe it's because there's so much love for me that I also get so picked on as often as I tend to.
Drum tracking was different this time, actually. It was the first time that everyone was in the room, sort of playing live. It's sort of a way where I can look around and see everyone giving their all, and it makes me push just a little bit harder, right? It just brings a lot of energy into the process that might not be there if you're just sort of doing it canned.
Because that's the whole thing that's fun about playing, is you're feeding off each other. So if Pat hears my dynamics and I start reefing on my strings a little more at a certain part, he's gonna play his fill a little differently, and vice versa. And then hopefully that kind of natural essence will carry on through the tracking process. And when we're done, there will be something that seems genuine about the song.
When we're playing as a band, you get more of a fucking natural feel, you know, especially like when we're all playing. It was a new process for us to all do that too, so it was rad.
And, you know, it helps the rest of us get accustomed to playing the song, so when it comes time to record our parts, we're not sitting there, you know, stumbling, trying to find what the hell we were doing, so.
It just, like, that room somehow makes drums just sound so much better than any other room that I've played in. Sounds awesome. So we're all playing along, playing this song, like I'm in the middle of a take, and all of a sudden, like I just see this like small stream of smoke coming out from Dan's amp. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, his amp's on fire, it's about to blow up. Like, I was getting a little nervous.
Turn it off.
The amps are smoking.
Holy shit. Holy fuck.
Too heavy. My amp fucking exploded.
It blew up. It literally fucking blew up.
Did it? It blew up.
It blew up.
Just started smoking.
Wow, you blew up your amp with your rocking.
I think he was ripping one of his new solos, and it was so hot and hard that literally the amp didn't know what to do except self-destruct. And it did exactly that.
Dan's gears. Shit in the bed. That was the middle of a good take, too.
Gang drum tracks, those were fun.
It was Dave's idea to get, 4 different sized floor toms, and we all just played this one sort of like tribal beat.
Definitely some better drummers in the band than others. I was probably on the weaker side of things, but that's okay.
I've always wanted to play an instrument on a record. The only instrument I've ever played was the bassoon back in grade 7 music class when I failed. And I was pretty excited because, this was my time to shine. And then when we got in there, I realized there was a reason no one lets me play instruments on any of the records. That's because I cannot play them. It's very well documented. You see me kind of like sneak in for a couple of hits just so I can say I played drums on the record, and then I would just kind of fake hit it and just be in the background to hopefully not screw up a take.
So, okay, let's go right from the top then when I come in. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
That was fucking fantastic. You guys are all hired.
I wanted the liner notes to say drums,
You wanna-
Patrick
right.
Bertles, Andrew Usnick,
No,
Dan
don't
Derry.
worry. Don't worry. It's all here for posterity.
Yeah.
You have nothing to worry about.
I played drums a lot for the last 2 weeks here, but it's nice going first because now everyone else is working and I have nothing to do. I actually asked Dave to produce me some fun things to do in Vancouver, and he told me he'd produce me a bus ticket home, but I decided to stick around and hang out with the guys. Can I get a pizza and a case of beer now?
Yes.
Finished drums!
I think that's a pretty good reward.
Go get some hard liquor and get stupid.
Yeah, loser.
No,
Victor vodka!
I'm not gonna get out of control at Mushroom Studio.
Oh, do mushrooms!
Do mushrooms!
Now that.
Now that I can get my head around.
suddenly regrets his decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's play some bass.
I don't need to talk about Sandy's partying. Everyone knows Sandy's a legendary partier. That's true. I mean, if I get liver disease when I'm older, I'm gonna blame it on him, to be honest.
He slays on bass. He could drink anyone I know under the table. Fuck, that guy's a maniac.
Sandy's the kind of guy who looks like he is going to rob you in an alleyway, but really, it's hilarious because he's probably the softest, most selfless person I've ever met.
Sometimes he's off in his own world.
Everybody talk about a pump, say what they know, pump ahead, that's alright.
Fucking A, man. You know what? Me and him have a whole lifetime together. Apparently, he's supposed to live to be 35. Whew. Me and him have something in common.
What?
We're both supposed to live to we're 35.
No, Sandy's got a heart of gold. Sandy is definitely the heart and soul of this band.
If you see me in a bar, don't ask me if I want a drink. I already do want a drink, so just get me one.
That shit was dope.
I think every musician has their style, has this groove, has this way of doing things that they're comfortable with, and Sandy's no different. He has a really cool signature style of playing bass that's really kind of helped mold the sound of our band. We make fun of him sometimes because he plays bass like he's a guitar player. It's really like there's 3 guitar players up there just ripping on it.
You know, I'm a really poppy guy, so some of the songs on the record are a little poppier, and Dave kind of pushed him to play on that side of the spectrum. You know, higher up the neck, more kind of groove oriented with the bass drum, and he killed it. He's a very versatile player.
You know, I had all my parts ready to go, like, before I even showed up, right? So I was ready to just go in there and rip shit, you know? But, like, Dave fucking just had me, like, you know, explore the fretboard.
And Dave really made Sandy explore his instrument and really took him outside of what he was used to. And I think Sandy definitely, you know, he's capable of playing that way.
It's like, are you happy with your parts, or do you think you can play something better? And you know, when you get asked that question, you're like, oh, yeah, I know I can play something better. I suppose I'll try. So, I mean, like, it just definitely pushed you a little. And, like, you know, I'm doing stuff on this record that I've never really done before.
I think he made him play less and more at the same time, if that makes any sense. I mean, I think he really had Sandy moving notes and picking new things that he wouldn't normally do.
Think outside the box. Go south of the border. Get a taco instead of a burger.
Because we were in Mushroom Studios and it's just a great sounding room, we wanted to make sure that we got the gang vocals done before we moved over to Dave's studio at the Greenhouse. So we had a bunch of our pals out, a bunch of guys in bands that we're friends with, and bands who we used to tour with who are no longer playing, and just a really solid group of guys.
What's the end one more time?
Yeah, just do the whole thing.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's interesting to hear because I can go back now and like pick out whose voice is where. So yeah, probably the best group of gang vocals we've ever done. We've done some questionable ones before.
The last record, we basically invited as many people as we could out, and we wanted this big like wall of singing.
Hey! Hey!
In time, please.
Hey! When it's gone, we're watching time stand still like a photograph.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Our last record we did gang vocals with like 40 people, and it sounded like 40 out of 10 people. So this time, Dave was very specific about making sure everyone can sing the part before being allowed in there. So people were weeded out. Sandy got kicked out because he was singing collective soul songs.
Haven't let your light shine down.
Yeah! No!
Haven't let your light shine down. Yeah.
One of the prerequisites of gang vocals is everyone gets drunk or intoxicated in some form. So usually you end up doing gang vocals at the end of the day. So everyone's there and partying and giggling about something stupid, and no one can keep quiet at the right time, and it takes forever, and it's so much fun, man. It feels like when you're in detention at school and you're all fucking around.
More cheers, more beers.
Let's fucking do these.
Red 97.
Let's do these vocals right.
Right to my left.
Rip.
Here's to my left.
You been working out? Fuck yeah! Thanks for noticing, buddy.
Yeah, you noticed, right?
Dean's pretty happy about that.
Oh shit! I thought it was a spider in my back. It was just a cord.
I guess I did it shirtless because I was drunk and I was in the mood to party. And nothing says party like taking your shirt off.
Whoa! Oh yeah! Whoa! Oh yeah!
Don't you think Dan looks like Mr. Burns, Monty Burns? Like, excellent. If you slick his hair back, he weighs about as much as him, which is probably about 100 pounds soaking wet. He's the music, I'd say the musical leader of our band.
Probably one of the best guitar players I know, and I'm not just, you know, I'm not bullshitting you.
I'll still be right.
Dan is very sort of esoteric in his playing and in his parts, his creativity. And he's left-handed, but he plays right-handed, which means that automatically sort of makes you a strange guitarist because you're using sort of the opposite hand for the job that's needed. Craig, on the other hand, you know, he's a machine, right? He's got his right hand is like a bumblebee, how fast and how tight he can play palm muting.
They're like the most opposite style guitar players ever. It's crazy. One's like kind of like your jazzy, bluesy kind of guitar, where the other one's like straight, like mid-90s punk and early metal stuff. Like, so when they get together, they teach each other so much shit and they fucking just rip.
Craig was raised on Strung Out and Face to Face and you know, good fast punk. And I wouldn't necessarily call our band a punk band, but there's definitely a lot of influences from it, and a lot of them come from him. He plays a guitar like a 12-year-old kid listening to those bands being like, oh man, I want to shred like that.
He taught me a lot about how to play guitar because I grew up and I played, you know, like, well, first I started on violin and this kind of thing, and then I learned classic rock and stuff. And I really didn't know much about punk music or anything like that. And like, I didn't even know how to palm mute. Palm muting is so essential in the type of music we play, and I didn't even know what it was. Craig taught me how to do that, and he brought a whole different world for playing for me.
There's the part.
You made flat by
Down a semitone.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I did that too, I know.
That sounds like it's
Jazz. It's jazz.
Our band's a guitar band. It's that simple. Everything they write and play is kind of carved out our sound. And when Dave got in there, I mean, Dave's a phenomenal guitar player. So he wouldn't let the littlest thing go.
Dave just pushed me as a guitar player because I know he's a good guitar player. So when I'm tracking, I didn't want to fuck up. So if I was a little bit off the click on a take, it was embarrassing for me. You know, you can ask the guys that get home from the studio and just kind of have a little shame moment because I felt like I didn't play as well as I could have. One thing that Dave does is he teaches you how to listen in a different way. So a lot of times I'd do a take and he'd go, "What'd you think?" You know, and he wouldn't let on if he thought it was good or bad. And I had to be like, good? And he'd be like, yeah, it was good. But he'd force you that extra step to appraise each take until you start understanding why he's deciding if it's bad or good.
This record, we wanted it to be painfully clear to people that we are a rock band. Whether you call us a punk rock band, a mainstream rock band, a pop rock band, we wanted everyone to know we're a rock band. And for us, that starts with the guitars.
Dave's a fucking guitar snob. He'll only play and purchase guitars from the 50s and the 60s. He has one that's older than that. It's a Les Paul Studio. God, piece of junk. No, I'm kidding.
You know, a guitar is a piece of wood, and if this piece of wood is resonating at certain frequencies for a period of 40 or 50 years, it kind of gets to know what it is after a while. It's the same reason that you know, the great violinists play violins that are hundreds of years old and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, because that piece of wood has been resonating at certain frequencies for hundreds of years, and the wood learns to sing.
I brought in some of my guitars, and I think I have some decent guitars. I'm not gonna say nice guitars, and it's just like junk, you know, just all junk.
For a guitar player, he's a great producer to get because his guitar collection is phenomenal.
This is a 1964 Fender Jazzmaster, 59 Dan Electro, 1963 Fender P-Bass, a Supro Martinique made in 1965, 1964 Epiphone Casino, 1964 Gretsch Country Gentleman. This is the guitar that we probably use the most for our rhythm sounds. This is a 1968 Gibson 335, and it's got a lot of character, but it's very heavy sounding. Sounds like rock, but it does sound better if you put this little piece of cheap phone underneath the trapeze tailpiece, because these strings tend to ring out a little bit and be distracting. But this guitar got a lot of use from the 10-Second Epic boys.
I was in love with that guitar. I was trying to plant the seed for him to put it in his will or something. Honestly.
You know, you can never have enough guitars. It's like women in shoes, but it's nice to have different paints on your palette.
Andrew's definitely, I would say, the brain of the band.
He's what the Dukes of Hazzard call boss hog. You know, he's the mother hand of the band. He keeps us in check, and
Andrew is like a mastermind.
He's kind of like the go-to guy. He's the spearhead, you know. Andrew's
clearly the leader of the band. He's when we have to make a decision, you know, it's a no-brainer. Andrew, what do we do?
This night is harder than last, and I'm not part of it. And this fight is not gonna last, but I'm still part of it.
Well, you know, I'm one of those kind of people that believe music is best served live. I love performing live. I love the feeling of getting on stage. And I've always felt that our band is at its best when we're playing a loud song that's in your face. And a big part of that is having loud, aggressive vocals. And so when we wrote this record, I was like, it's got to be there.
They're going to be kind of uncharted territory for us in a way that, you know, every line's going to be pretty heartfelt and like sung basically like to its fullest, you know, like as opposed to kind of trying to hit fancy notes. It's going to be a lot of heart and a lot of, you know, I don't want to use the word rage, but like there's going to be like, it's going to be really intense.
I've never heard him sing that way. The other night he came running in through the door to show us a couple tracks that he'd recorded on his phone, and it sounded fucking crazy.
I think Andrew has kind of got to a spot he's never been before as a singer. He's singing stronger than ever. His lyrics are stronger than ever. And he's kind of brought back what I originally loved about the band, which is the intensity.
I just want to give you shelter. Let's try it again. I can make you a promise, but time will make it clear. After the dust is settled, I'll still be right. All right, hold on a second. Shirt's coming off. I'm starting to sweat. Woo! All right, I'm back, buddy. We've been recording vocals at the Greenhouse, which is Dave's home studio, and it's intensely hot in there. We started working and Dave didn't know how to work the thermostat, so it's been like a sauna in there, which doesn't help because when you're singing vocals inside a booth and basically screaming and, you know, it's a full body workout. And I was glistening from sweat after about 5 minutes. You know, you're trying to stay hydrated, but, you know, in my case, you know, I'm drinking an entire bottle of whiskey, and that's not really the best for hydration, so.
Andrew drinks like a bottle of Jack Daniels every time he tracks vocals. Like he goes through one every 2 days of tracking.
Why?
I don't know. Alcohol, to me, it like dries out your voice, but some guys love it. Like for kind of, I think it numbs the throat. You can really kind of give her. It's like a painkiller. And also it gets you fired up. You want to sing well.
Lay your defenses down, and I'll be a sanctuary.
Dave, like any good producer, wants to get the best takes, and he's not going to settle until he's satisfied with what he thinks is getting Andrew's absolute potential.
If it takes me a while to get the perfect performance, that's okay. I'll take the time, but I'm confident with myself as a singer, and I'm not going to stop, and Dave's not going to stop until we got the perfect take, and I think in the end that's going to make the record sound badass.
So I think Andrew really went into this one knowing what he wanted. He wanted to know, he knew how he wanted his voice to sound on this one. He wanted to make sure that he was pushy and had a lot of energy and was aggressive when he needed to be, and so as a result, you know, my job a lot of the time was just to sort of, he knew where he was going. I just needed to sort of keep him on track. Well, from a producer standpoint, I feel that, you know, a successful record is one where the band improves. You've pushed the band to be as good as they can be, or better than they ever imagined they could be.
I mean, negative progression is never good. You always want to feel like you're progressing. And that's why we're all so happy with this record. It was a step forward, you know, career-wise. It was a step forward musically.
We put so much into this record, you know, so much of our time, you know, so much of ourselves into fucking writing it, and everybody's done it. Everyone has sacrificed so much.
I think this is a record that, for us, is going to kind of mark a new chapter of the band, but still identify with kind of where we've came from.
I'm so proud of this record. I mean, I think some of the best songs we've ever written are on Better Off, and I want people to buy it in stores or buy it online or steal it from torrents. Like, it doesn't matter. I just want people to listen and come to our shows and hang out with us and just have a great time.
at the end of the day, whether this goes on for 20 years or if it ends next week, I'm going to look back on the time of it and I'm going to know it was the best years of my life, undoubtedly. And I'm happy to say I spent those years with, you know, some of the best dudes.
The thing that I really like about them is that they have the archetype personalities of a great band. You know, they've got the hyper intelligent leader guy in Andrew who sort of makes sure everything's organized, and they've got the sort of creative spark in Dan who's like, you know, he's just full of creativity. And they've got the anchor in Craig, who's making sure that, you know, the mix is right, making sure everything rocks hard enough. You know, they've got the clown in Sandy that keeps everybody laughing. And then I guess you could say Bertles is kind of like the cheerleader, because once he finished his drums, every time he came to the studio and we were playing something, he'd be like, "That sounds sweet." That's all I heard from him for like a month after he finished drums was, "That sounds sweet." And I'm like, every band's got to have a guy like Bertles for sure. TSC has nothing to worry about. I mean, they've been at it for 10 years with the same lineup, which is crazy. I mean, you never hear of that, 10 years with the same guys. You know, I have no doubt that they'll keep going, and with the same guys as well. I just think that these guys were born to be in a band together, and they'll probably go down that way too.
Okay, well, the beautiful thing about this jam space is we lined it with underlay. Not because it's cheap, but because it's beautiful.
The weird thing is, when Dan graduated, his suit is actually this color. It looks like fucking hell.
Oh, you know, Sandy,
and he went with his brother.
The funny thing about that is, Sandy didn't graduate.
Yes, I did. I graduated with top honors. Yeah, fucking A, I did.
Yeah, I saw the bus you wrote. It wasn't as long as most.
Yeah, that's because I was going to the privileged school. One place that you've probably never heard of because you don't have any money. This is a good lamp. This is actually a pretty state-of-the-art. Don't fucking touch it. It changes brightness. What else do we have? Oh, here's a piece of shit guitar amp. I think,
oh, fuck off!
I think I saw this in a dumpster. And I saw a dick jumping in and out, and this is what he came to practice with. And you know what that dick's name was? Daniel Carrier. And look what he brought. Looks like it was fucking pulled out of a swamp.
Don't kick it. Okay, wait till you see his fucking amp. It looks like a goddamn octopus.
It doesn't look like an octopus.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of chords.
Okay, we got some stuff on the wall we've sort of acquired through all this time. We got James Hetfield fucking rocking the V.
This is a show we never played?
That was a show we never played, but we got a poster made for it. This is Paulina.
I know her.
No, actually, I know her.
Yeah, I know her too.
No, you don't know her.
Oh,
This little set of panties was taken from Dan and from his own collection that he wears.
He literally, I've come in here numerous times when he's early for practice, and he's sniffing those.
But we've got some cool stuff. Like, there's some stuff fans have made for us. Like, this fan from Japan drew a picture of this mixed-up boy-girl. Actually, that's Dan. Holy fuck. That was really nice of them, eh? What else we got here? You're in Pill Countries of Good Flag. 10 Second Epic is the band we play for.
Yeah, we play in 10 Second Epic.
Here's the pièce de résistance.
This is what I'm talking about. It looks like a goddamn gargoyle.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does. It's fucking horrible looking. Rick, I mean, if we can be honest with each other.
Let's see what we got here. We got, 810 power, man. Fucking running wild.
So he got this fucking he got this bass cab for free, and from Trainer, who said, that girl in 10 Second Epic rocks. She thought that Sandy was a girl, and they sponsored him because of it, so.
Then I showed him a hog, and they never made that mistake again. What else we got here? These are Pat's things. I've been known to like push him over, pour booze on him. I don't know. I pissed on this bass drum right in this hole one. He doesn't even know.
For the tone.
For the tone, it's better. It was all for the tone. It's sake of the band.
What does Pang mean?
Pang is his name.
It's another nickname for Pat.
On his license, it actually says Pang. Like,
It's just like Pang Burt, like they ran out of letters.
So, like, we just want to remind everybody that his name isn't Pat, it is Pang. And sometimes it likes to be called Pangarang. This is Guitar Land. Right over here. We got a bunch of guitars. If you guys didn't leave your fucking lights here, we could see more of it, but that's another story. There's a fridge right over here for keeping things cold. Chimichangas, beers, whatever you like. When did we get this in here?
You know, that's really good. Oh, you know, man. Oh, I can smell your armpit.
I know, that's why I did it like that.
It's fucking nasty. This is where we compose. Yeah.
That's fucking in tune.